Hello, my friends. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Painting in Your PJs with Minette. We'll get started here in just a couple of minutes. Waiting for the other video to start. It's a little early in the morning to be singing. All right, my friends. Welcome to Painting in Your PJs with Minette. I am Dr. Minette Riordan. And Monday mornings for me are wonderful. Let me just say that. I love Monday mornings. And I think one of the reasons that I love Monday mornings is because I do spend time pretty much every morning, but Mondays it feels even more important, just centering, regrouping, getting ready for the week and spending some time in what I call my morning art activation process. This is a mindful coloring practice where I use one of my son's gorgeous Sacred Circle designs from our Sacred Circles membership. He's actually been creating these designs for me and my business since way back when he was in high school, and he's about to turn 25 this week. So happy birthday to him as well. And we started coloring sacred circles, what we call mandalas or sacred circles. When he was maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8, we would sit on the couch, me and Connor and my daughter Maggie, with a big box of Prismacolor colored pencils that I'd had since university and color away. And it was such a mindful, beautiful experience. Good morning, Cindy. And it has stuck with me ever since. And that was a long time ago. Both my kids are in their 20s now. And so I decided that here on the channel, I want to just give you a taste, whether you simply listen along or whether you color along with me. Welcome. I'm delighted that you're here. And this week I've actually added a link to purchase. We have a digital coloring book. It's 100 of Connor's designs from over the years. It's only $15 and you can print and color the images over and over. The link is in the description of the video and you can check that out. And one of the things I love to do on these calls is to grab an oracle card, and I forgot to grab an oracle card deck. And normally I have them all around me, but I'm going to grab a deck and you're going to see that, yes, I am still, good morning, Bonnie. You can see that I am still wearing my Christmas pajamas because they are so warm and so cozy. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome. So I'm going to go ahead and change my camera here. Glad to have you all with me. So I went ahead and I've already lit my candle. Aren't they cute? I got them on clearance at Old Navy, the best. And they are so soft and warm, and they are Christmassy. So I've lit my candle. I have this beautiful little bear totem that a friend gifted to me. And I'm going to play with a variety, good morning, Jackie, of watercolor pencils this morning. I have some Derwent ink tints and then just some plain watercolor pencils. And we'll see where we get to. I spent all day yesterday literally scouring my studio from top to bottom. And of course, anytime you clean things up and then you can't find anything again for a little while. So I'm going to get a journal page here because I really want to kind of swatch these beauties out. And I know I'm going to want to write down the oracle card. Bear is your spirit animal. Beautiful. It's definitely one of mine. My silly cat. She's literally climbing the walls this morning, I don't know what she's trying to do, but so I grabbed one of my favorite decks this morning, which is Colette Baron Reed's Spirit Animal Oracle. The illustrations are absolutely exquisite. And by Jenna Della Grottalia. I follow her now on Instagram because I'm so in love with her art. And I may need to refocus my camera. But let's see, speaking of animal spirits, oh, good morning, Becky. What animal is going to come in? So bear with me for 1 second. I'm just going to see if we can focus in on these just a little bit better. It's what happens when you're live. Oh, much better. Now it's not hurting my eyes. Hopefully it's not hurting your eyes, but these illustrations are just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so what animal spirit is going to guide us into our day and into the week? And when I'm picking an oracle card, I like to just sort of pause, take a couple of deep breaths. Same practice I do when I start to color a sacred circle is just to bring myself fully present into the moment and ask for this time together to be in the highest and best good of all. Nightingale spirit, love is all around. What a beautiful card to start the week. And I love these gorgeous morning glories that almost look like the big megaphone on an old gramophone record player. And this beautiful nightingale, who we know has such a beautiful song. Love is all around. Let's see. Just take a quick gander here and then we'll get to do some coloring. So the message of this is you are so loved. And the illumination song of the nightingale spirit calls you to a new level of self-awareness and connection with the light. Yes, there is shadow and darkness, but love and prosperity exist everywhere, even in the seeming emptiness of space, darkness, and a starless night. Trust in tomorrow's light. Renew your ability to recognize that the spaces that appear empty are filled with love and abundance. Illumination will happen soon. What a beautiful, beautiful message. And here's that crazy thing, you guys. So I picked this card and look at the palette that I picked. All right, I'm going to refocus one more time. So we get those cards in there. I've already picked this palette ahead of time. Hi, Polly. Welcome, welcome. And Becky, good morning. So what's missing in my palette here is maybe like a little pop of that red or orange. And that's 2 weeks in a row where I've picked the palette before picking the card, and then the card matches that palette, and from different decks with different illustrators. So let's play with color a little bit as we think about illumination and light and the message that love is all around. Or if we think about the wonderful Beatles song, Love is All You Need. And so I was really drawn to some brighter palettes this morning. And I have a couple of different kinds of watercolor pencils. Oh, there's that pop of orange. I am a huge, huge fan, don't like that lemon yellow, of the Derwent Inktense pencils. I love the richness of the color, and I love water-soluble pencils in general. And paper has a lot to do with how well they work as well. I love this beautiful deep indigo. And you can blend Derwents, but one of my favorite things to do when I'm coloring a sacred circle is to get that base of color down on the page and then come back in and actually add zentangle patterns with the Derwent, sort of color on color. All right, so I'm definitely drawn to those two, and maybe that nice pop of bright green. And now I think this was, I've forgotten which was which. Not that one. Oh, I think I already have the two. Okay, and then loved all of those yellows, but maybe not that olive green. So just sorting. Good morning, Yvonne. Oh, I don't know that song, Blanca. Thank you. Good morning. I'll have to go and check that out. So, love is all around. What a beautiful energy to start the morning with. So, I'm just going to set that card up in front of me. And actually, I just noticed that there's actually music notes here on the card, which I didn't notice at first glance. It's always worth really taking your time and really looking at an oracle card for that inspiration. And then the design that I chose for this morning is one I don't think that I have colored before. I'm not even sure I knew this one was in the coloring book, so it felt appropriate, and I easily connect with the infinite creativity of the universe. So this is the energy with which I am beginning this Monday morning. I connect with the infinite creativity of the universe, and love is all around. Love is all around. In fact, I could even come in here and say with the infinite love of the universe, because love is also a source of creativity for me personally. Good morning, Judy. So I invite you to just grab something to color. You don't have to be coloring what I'm coloring, but just to spend the next maybe 15 minutes together, 20 minutes here together, just in some mindful quiet. And when I'm working with the Derwents, I like to come in and get those darks down. And what you'll notice if you're new to working with Derwent ink tints, and I'm wishing this was on a harder surface for coloring, but is that I don't need to fill in the entire space unless I'm wanting the color to be super, super vibrant. But it also makes for that little bit speedier process. And when our time is limited, sometimes we want something that's going to allow us to maybe move just a little bit faster. And I might come back and add more color. And I can also just blend my colors right on the page. So I spent 6 or 7 hours, like a long time, taking apart my closet down here and everything on all of my shelves and sorting and cleaning and reorganizing. And you don't realize how much dust accumulates on everything, or maybe you do. I forget sometimes how much dust accumulates, even though, like I'm in a sealed basement. I'm like, where is the dust coming from? So I notice my head is a little stuffy. Plus, we're having crazy like 40 to 60 mile an hour winds here the last couple of days. So if I sound a little stuffy, I am. I feel fine. I'm just a little stuffy. And I'm going to let this be a little bit messy around the edges. I'm just working on a piece of cardstock. I tend to print these on cardstock. So the water's going to flow. It's not going to act as nice as it would on watercolor paper. But this process and this practice, it's for me. It's not for anyone else. I'm not going to keep necessarily the design, although I do have stacks and stacks of them around that I've colored. And these messages feel extra juicy to me this morning. So when I first got up and got down to the studio, I sat down to do some reading and research for my book project. And instead, I just opened up my journal and started thinking and writing. And in about just over 30 minutes, I made so much progress on direction of where I'm going for my book, which is also my 100-day project. And it was such a good reminder that I easily connect with the infinite creativity of the universe. So when I saw this design and this affirmation, it felt perfect because I notice I have a tendency to think, oh, I don't know enough. I need to go read more. I need more information. And rarely do I need more information. It's all within. And sometimes it's easy to be in that place of self-doubt where we question ourselves or think we don't know enough or it's not going to be good enough. And I was so reminded this morning of how much work I've already done and to just trust the creative process. And I think it's what I appreciate most about these morning art activation processes is they're just these simple reminders of where I am on my own path and my own journey. And I'm wondering how this message of love is all around is landing for you this morning. Perhaps you needed a reminder that the light always follows the dark, that whatever space that you're in, change is inevitable. And we can only go forward from right now, here in the moment. And I was thinking a lot about just consciousness this morning and present moment awareness. And that the more time I spend just making sure that I'm lingering right here and now in the present moment, not looking back to the past or worrying what's around the bend in the road ahead, but really focused on what's in front of me right now. Everything feels easier and lighter, and I'm connected. We can't connect with the future of the universe. We can't connect with the past. We can only connect right here and now with the moment. Beautiful. Hi, Marion. Good morning. Glad you made it. And for those of you that are just joining us or popping in and out, I drew a card from Colette Baron Reed's Spirit Animal Oracle, Nightingale Spirit. Love is all around. Such a beautiful message. And having some fun with just some mindful coloring this morning. Starting my Monday morning with just a little bit of sacred self-reflection. Where am I? What do I want for this week? Letting go of the long to-do list. Letting go of worries and concerns about family. Letting go of worries and concerns about what the heck is this going to look like when I'm done. And just being here in that expression of color on the page. Remembering to breathe as I go. I love that. Love is the ultimate creator. Yeah, beautiful. Love is all around. The universe is supporting me. Yes. See what happens when we just sort of blend all these together. The other thing I really love about the Derwents is that even on this inexpensive cardstock, the scratchy lines disappear. I was never a big fan of watercolor pencil because I never felt like I could get the smoothness or the sort of painterly effect that I wanted. And I'd never tried the Derwent watercolor pencils, but they're also nice. But my favorites are definitely still the Inktense. And just remembering to slow down. Certainly one of my biggest life lessons is remembering to slow down, to not race ahead to the finish line or wear myself out before I get there and then I'm too tired to enjoy it. But learning to pace myself, to take whatever time is needed. Anybody else a fan of the Derwent Inktense? It's a little bit pricier supply investment, but I've had the same set for probably 10 years and they are so rich in pigment that they definitely last a really long time. I have both the pencils and the sticks. As my mind settles, the words become fewer and fewer. I become more focused on the process. I can settle. I feel my shoulders soften and release. And I love how this pattern feels like the dark and the light. It was a totally intuitive choice. I picked the color palette and the page to color before I picked the oracle card. And I love how it's all aligned. And this feels connected to my writing this morning as I was thinking about and writing about and talking about, how do we make decisions to go forward from where we are? And making decisions can feel really tricky. It can feel pretty easy to just want to stay in our comfort zone, stay on the same old well-trodden path. Unless you've always been someone like Robert Frost to pick the road less traveled. Yeah, same, Barbara. On wood, that's great to know. They're really awesome on fabric. You can use them on fabric and then heat set it with a cool iron, and they become quite permanent on fabric. Another fun way to use them. Aw, doggy snores. I love it. My cats, this is like playtime. They're just so happy that we're up and around and awake that they are not, they come by for snuggles, but they don't ever linger in the morning. I was so grateful when my kids started sleeping later and later, and it felt like I got my mornings back. And I would always make an effort to get up before them to have this sacred time in the morning. I would set an alarm so that I knew I would have at least an hour to drink my coffee and wake up before they got up and we got the day going. And the habit has stuck. I love being up when the house is quiet. Brad and I both get up quite early and sort of retreat to our creative spaces for reading and writing, and me for art making. One of the ways I love to use colored pencils is also to dip them directly into the water, and then you get that pigment just flows on there nicely. It works better with the Derwents. This is an Albrecht Dürer. Oh, it's a Faber-Castell watercolor pencil. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous color, but it works a little bit differently. So play with your tools. Even that is such a lovely, mindful experience to just give yourself permission to slow down, to swatch your colors, to experiment and play with them. It's not a waste. It's learning how to use them. So when you come to something that is a little bit more precious, you feel ready to approach the page. It's what I love about this process. Oh, it teaches me not to take myself too preciously or to worry too much about all the things to come this week, but simply to have the moment and the time to think about what Gay Hendricks, one of my favorite authors, calls Einstein time versus Chronos time, which is just trusting that I have all the time that I need. A little more of that light just glowing here, opening and expanding. And I was thinking I was going to come back and add some patterns to this, and I'm thinking I really just like it the way it is. It definitely feels representative of that shift from light to dark, the interplay between the two. To remember that every night the light follows the dark. And it's just a nudge that we have our coloring book linked in the description today. It's 100 designs for $15, most of which actually goes to my son Connor for his gorgeous creative work. And I love digital coloring books where you can print the designs over and over again. Yep, Einstein time versus Chronos time. All right, my creative friends, I think that is it for today. Tomorrow we'll be back with our final couple of days of our art journaling and self-love prompts this week. And I think the last two pages in my journal, which I don't know how it's timing out quite so perfectly, but it is. I hope you have just a beautiful rest of your day and that you feel the light and that love is all around. Bye, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.